Good evening, everybody. This is Andy, aka Montolio, and here we are. We are in round 4 of the Classic Quarter Qualifier number 1. And my opponent this week is PlanetWalls and one of his rogue builds. So let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. So basically the crux of this deck, the whole point of it, is Zur the Enchanter. And what he's trying to do is get one of 4 or 5 different enchantments that he's got onto the board. 3 of which are devastating to our game plan here, being Energy Flux, Back to Basics, and Solitary Confinement. Basically, we can't really beat any of these cards if he gets them going. It's very difficult to do so. Solitary Confinement, once he's got a Snake Umbra going, is able to draw a card every turn with which he can discard to the Solitary Confinement and finish me off that way in the air. So that is the main thing we're trying to avoid, and he also has some ancillary creatures here like Geist of St. Traft. He's also got Vendilion Clicks. All of these are, I'm not that worried about the Geist of St. Traft because I can definitely block it. Vendilion Click is a little bit tougher for us because we don't really have a lot of flyers. We've got 1 Steel Hellkite and some Metamorphs on top of that, so we'll have to watch out for those. And of course he's got 4 Quasali Pridemage, which are difficult for our deck to combat, and he has a lot of mana acceleration, which is also goes against what we're trying to do in locking him out in the event he can get these things going here. So he also does run 4 Force of Will. He's got lots of blue cards with which to pitch, and he's got a couple STPs to remove our creatures. Sideboard, he has 2 Trigon Predators and an Aura of Silence, all which are pretty bad for us if you can get one of those going. Aura of Silence would be a nightmare if he was able to land one of those things early against us. It's also possible he could side in a Rest in Peace against us to try and protect his lands from recurring Wastelands strip mines. So basically that's what we're dealing with, and yeah, I mean, I don't really have a feeling for who's got an upper hand in this match. I think die roll is going to be important here, and yeah, it'll be interesting because you never know what to quite do with rogue decks like this. And here we are taking a look at my deck. And yeah, this basically is Null Rods are not very good for us, unfortunately. He doesn't have any artifacts in his deck, so these will definitely be getting sided out. But basically the premise of our game here is to try and lock him under spheres and attack his mana base, and get out some of our big guys here. Also Tanglewire will also play an integral role here in tapping him down because his deck is not what I would consider to be fast. And then round it out with some late game in Hellkites and Worm Coils, and unfortunately Chalice of the Void is not great for us in this matchup because he does run a full complement of Cavern of Souls, and he can either put that on Wizard or Human. So this is not great for us in that sense. We're going to have to attack his caverns pretty quickly with our Wastelands, which is not likely to work in the sense that when he's playing one, I'm sure he's going to be playing something like a Deathrite or a Noble Hierarch trying to get ahead. Revoker should be pretty good for us here in the sense we can either target Quasali Pridemage, Deathrite Shaman, or a Noble Hierarch. So if he's kind of going all in, trying to get a quick ramper out there ahead of our spheres and chalices, then we can shut him down with these and try and whittle away at him. The dream would be to get an early Crucible down with a Wasteland Strip Mine. That would be, I think, very difficult for him to overcome. And yeah, I mean, even something like a Precursor Golem is pretty good for us because he does only run the 2 Swords to Plowshares. And of course our Worm Coils would be extra powerful here. They'll be hard for him to remove as well. I think he only has the Detention Spheres to get rid of these things, and of course yeah, regardless, that's what we're looking at here. And sideboard, of course, we're going to bring in our Worm Coil. Triskelion actually going to be very, very good for us here. We'll also bring in a Crucible of Worlds. We'll try and go that route. And it's questionable that whether we bring in a Pithing Needle as well. I may just do that, just to try and get on another thing on his Revoker type effect onto his Hierarchs or Deathrite Shamans, or his, I beg your pardon, Quasali Pridemage. And Caracas is also going to come in because it has a lot of targets. I mean, his main win condition is Zur the Enchanter, Geist of St. Trapp, and Vendilion Clique, and it hits all of those. And the most important facet that I didn't mention up to this point, which is very, very good for us, is the fact that PlanetWalls does not run any wasteland effects at all, no strip mines, anything. So our mana base is going to be left intact. And you know, a Caracas, just one Caracas on the table could significantly change the outcome of a game. So we'll see how it goes, guys. Yeah, I mean, it's as I said, and looking at PlanetWalls deck, I'm not quite sure what the best, you know, who's got an upper hand in this match. But yeah, we're going to see momentarily. So let's see if we can take this to a 4-0. Okay, guys, here we are. Let's see, we won the die roll. Let's hope for a good opener. That's a pretty darn good opener. Question is, can we get a turn 1 lodestone down? So we are playing against Force of Wills here. Would you like to mulligan? No, we're not going to mulligan. We are playing against Force of Wills. Can we get this through without a Force of Will? So, I mean, I kind of feel like we got to go for it. It's just too good not to try and do. And then we can follow that up the following turn with a Chalice of the Void. Let's see how it goes. I mean, this could be very bad for us if it does get forced, but I still think we have to try. All right, that is great, great news. Now, if we can get ourselves into a Metamorph here or another Lodestone Golem, we're even better. Oh, wow. That is really, really huge getting that. Okay, well, let's beat in. Okay, now let's try this again. Can we get another one? Or does he have a force? Alright, and let's get out another workshop here. And I do think we hit Chalice. I mean, he may very well have. I can set a Chalice at 2 on Pride Mage, but I don't think that's too much of a concern here. I'm more worried about Swords to Plowshares right now, so let's try that. And then next turn we'll follow it up with Tangle Wire. So we have him on a pretty good clock here. He still is not going to be able to actually cast anything here. So let's see if we can lock it down with the Tangle Wire. Okay. So let's get in there. Now he does have enough mana to actually Force of Will us here if he did draw one. Let's hope that's not the case. And let's see if we can get this through. Yeah, so that should do it. I can't think of anything he would have. And there we go. We got game one. So what we've done in the sideboard here is we've actually sided out 2 Null Rods, 2 Chalice of the Voids, and a City of Traders. Null Rod is useless in this match. It doesn't hit anything at all. And Chalice of the Void is obviously a very good card, but as I alluded to in the intro, the Cavern of Souls kind of negates it, and in addition to that, it's never as good on the draw. And I've got rid of City of Traders for the Caracas. I brought in a Triskelion, which is obviously very good, Wormcoil, another Crucible, and a Pithing Needle. So let's take this in and see how it goes. This is not a great hand for us. PlanetWalls did mulligan. But we do have a Revoker. Oh, we didn't have a turn 1 play. Interesting. Okay. So I think I am going to go Revoker here into probably Quasali Pride Mage. Let's see how that goes. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that if he actually had a Deathrite Shaman or a Noble Hierarch, he would have played it out turn 1. What we really need to do is get into a workshop. I think that would be fantastic for us. So let's try that out and let's see how that goes. He wouldn't have kept a 1 lander, I'm sure. No. Geez, tempted to try and put that pithing needle down on let's fly in, let's see how it goes. So the question is here, I mean, we could be facing down a number of different things here next turn because we don't actually have any spheres out. And this is not a great position for us to be in. We could metamorph here, targeting another Phyrexian Revoker, but you know, we can get buried under a detention sphere, or it could cast an energy flux, and it just completely negates that play. What we really needed here was a dual land to be able to get under this. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to bury ourselves a little further here, and we're going to try getting a sphere down. And I mean, it's not great for us, but that's what we're going to do. So I'm not sure what we're seeing here. Okay, Brainstorm. So it actually may be worth trying to wasteland him here. The only problem with this is this puts us farther and farther behind, so I think I'm probably going to wait. Now this may be get Force of Willed here, I'm not sure. And if it does, I think I am going to wasteland to try and keep him off of one of those 3 enchantments that I mentioned. Let's see what happens here. Well, he's thinking long and hard about it. I mean, we very well may see a force here. Yeah, we're getting forced. Okay, and he got pitched the back to basics. Wow. Well, I think with that being the case, I'm just going to take his tropical island here. I mean, it's not phenomenal for me, but he's down to 4 cards, and the fact he forced that makes me think that. I was going to say that he's low on land, but oh, what a draw! All right. That was just phenomenal for me. Let's see if we can get lucky and keep one of these lodestones in play here. Well, first of all, let's get it into play, and then let's see what we can do. Now, here's the question. I can Pithing Needle trying to hit his Windswept Heath. And if he cracks it, which I strongly advise that he do, I can name one of Noble Hierarch or Deathrite Shaman, which is not nearly as good here, because of course I'm guessing blindly. But the opportunity to actually get something down, I think I'm going to wait here. I don't see a reason to rush for this. Yeah, I'm actually going to do it. And I mean, I do have a Metamorph here as well. Let's do it. Now, I can't imagine that PlanetWalls would make a mistake. Yeah, I was going to say, I can't imagine that he wouldn't do that, because putting him, basically, it's like destroying his land, and it should be very, very bad for him. So I think I'm going to name Noble Hierarch. I mean, maybe we just, I don't know. Hierarch's fine. And let's hope he's missed his land drop here. That would be most ideal. My apologies, guys. Then, I mean, you know, even if he did play a Deathrite, I'm not even sure that I would put a Metamorph down on the Deathrite at this stage in the game. It's just better to actually keep trying to lock him down under Lodestones. He's running 4 Noble Hierarchs, so it's a higher percentage than the 3 Deathrites he's running, and to me that seems reasonable. So human. So we're going to see a Pride Mage here. Okay, Hierarch. So we guessed right. He does have a blocker here, and that's fine. Oh, Wormcoil. Geez, that's a really nice card. Okay, unfortunately, well, we're going in here. We're going with both. I took it. Wow. So I want, I mean, he can attack, but he can't actually use it. Why would he take that? That confuses me. Alright, well, let's see if we can get this in here. Alright, so that lands, and that's pretty good for us, because he still only has 1 land here that he can use. And I mean, essentially he's put in a position here where he has to put out another blocker. Yep. So he can block our Lodestones here, but he doesn't realize he's going to be that much further behind here. And he actually did miss a land drop there, so that is not good for him, because he's about to get buried further behind under another Lodestone. So I would suspect this is going to do it. Now cannot cast anything at 4 life. So there, he got a land, but he's got 1 mana, and he can't cast anything with that mana. So there we go. We got there. So 4-0 to start the tournament. I think it's a 5-round Swiss, so I think that should pretty much guarantee us top 8, and we'll take it.